Couldn't hear it. Which one? Bezrat Hashem, the cover of the Helig Shabbos, prayer 18, page 475. Tefillah b'Shem Kol over Pesach, Reuven ben Safazar, Baruch Bas Yehudis, Yonah Bas Bas, Shir Bas Bas, Tova Bas Perel, and Ilui Nishmat Yehudi, Baruch Bas Nechemia, Meir Neshama Ben Aliyah. 5 days until Shabbos, 52 until Purim. Thank you, Avi, for the reminder, and let's fire it up. Master of all the worlds, source of all good. You are good, you who are good to all. You created your universe for good purpose, in accordance with your primordial plan. Your ultimate purpose was for our good. You wanted us to fulfill our true destiny and come to the ultimate good. This true good is the ultimate goal of everything. All other goals must ultimately lead to this. It was for this that you created all the worlds with such amazing wisdom, from the beginning of Atzilut to the very end of Asiya, the world of action. Through our labor in this world, which came last in the actual work of creation, we can become merged and unite with that which arose first in thought, the ultimate goal of eternal good. Hashem, our God and God of our fathers, God of compassion, help us fulfill your purpose and attain the good you want to give us. Let us serve you at all times, generally and wholeheartedly. Bezrat Hashem. More tefillah, but we'll continue there. So halacha lamaisa, Hilchos Megillah, page 510 in the article, if you're following, is the choicest way to perform the mitzvah to hear the Megillah reading in the synagogue, in a place where there are many people. Because, as the verse states in Mishlei, in a multitude of people is the glory of the king. Performing mitzvah with the participation of many people brings greater glory to Hashem. If this is not possible, one should at least see to it that he should hear it with a minyan, a quorum of 10 men. If it is not possible, should read it from a valid Megillah scroll, the preceding blessings. Says here in the footnote, when there is a minyan, one person reads the Megillah and the rest are exempted with his reading. However, some authorities rule that when there is no minyan, each person knows how to read the Megillah on his own. One person cannot exempt the others with the reading of the Megillah. Therefore, Kitzer writes that each person should read it himself from a valid Megillah. See Mishabura for further. If one person knows how to read it and the others do not, the one who knows should read it, and the others should listen and thus fulfill the mitzvah, even though they are not a group of 10. However, the blessings after the Megillah, see below, is recited only when 10 people are present. So we're going to get that in a couple of days in the Seif 11. We'll go over the bracha. Nevertheless, without mentioning the name of Hashem or his sovereignty, even an individual may recite the blessing. Okay, Seder, Bezrat Hashem, in a couple of days, we'll go over Seif 11 and things will make more sense. All right, Mishnah 9, chapter 2. Let's fire it up. This is a big one. And Hashem should open up our hearts, mamish, to just receive these beautiful teachings from our holy sages, from our holy masters. Here, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said to them, go and see what is the proper path that a person should follow. So just right off the bat, go and see what is the proper path that a person should follow. the Tiferet Yisrael says, do not decide on the basis of your own achievements. Go out and investigate the nature of the world and decide which way is best for the average person. We'll come back to this concept. It's a very strong concept, and let's keep going. Just a side point. Just a little footnote. Rabbi Yezer said, a good eye. Rabbi Yeshua said, a good companion. Rav Yossi said, a good neighbor. Rabbi Shimon said, one who foresees the consequences. Rabbi Elazar said, a good heart. He said to them, this is Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. He said, I lived next to his street on in Shan Aleph. I was on Dostai Street in Yerushalayim. He said to them, I prefer the words of Elazar ben Arach, for your words are included in his. He said, right, and he said, a good heart. He said to them, go and see what is the evil path that a person should avoid. Rabbi Eliezer said, an evil eye. Rabbi Yeshua said, an evil companion. Rabbi Yossi said, an evil neighbor. Rabbi Shimon said, one who borrows and does not repay, whether he borrows from a man or God, as it is written. The evildoer borrows and does not repay, but the tzaddik deals graciously and gives. This is a verse in Psalms. Rabbi Elazar said, an evil heart. He said to them, I prefer the words of Elazar ben Arach, for your words are included in this. So there's a lot going on here. So I'm just thinking, let's start with the Tiferet Yisrael concept. So the Tiferet Yisrael concept is really telling us, because Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai opens up this Mishnah with go and see what is the proper path that a person should follow, and then he brings all the examples from the sages. But the Tiferet Yisrael says, and he explains this opening line, this opening saying from Rabbi Yochanan. He says, do not decide on the basis of your own achievements. Go out and investigate the nature of the world and decide which way is best for the average person. The way of my limited understanding is telling me, and the understanding is that, let's say we grow up playing basketball. We're obsessed with basketball. We play basketball, and we feel like, we're achieving a lot. We're winning a lot of championships. We're getting a lot of scoring titles, a lot of trophies, the whole thing. We feel like that's the only path that we need to pursue. Same thing with any other thing in life. But Tiferet Yisrael is telling us, no, explore the world, right? Explore other sports, explore other degrees, explore other cultures, other people, diverse people, and see what's going on, the beauty of the world. What does the Baal Shem Tov say? It says here in the New Simcha Raz book, he says that, oy vavoy, says the Baal Shem Tov. He says the world is filled with luminaries, and with wonderful and awesome secrets, but our little hand covers our eyes, prevents us from seeing grand lights. Right? It's unbelievable, right? Because we could be doing one thing our whole lives, and our hands could be over our heads, Geshmak, saying Shema, but Mamash, we're missing out on the whole world. The whole world is so beautiful. So yeah, great advice from the Tiferet Yisrael, Baal Shem Tov, filled with luminaries. Another idea, right? It says here, go and see what the evil path that a person should avoid. Says Reb Shimon, one who borrows and does not repay, whether he borrows from man or God, as it is written, and the evildoer borrows and does not repay, but the tzaddik deals graciously and gives. Rav Nachman says in Sichot Aran 150 that when I receive money or something else from someone, I am really giving to him. For my receiving is actually giving. Beautiful concept from Sichot Aran. Gidal Fenster expands on this, says like that's the idea of receiving Kabbalah, right? Is really we're receiving to give, right? And we saw this the other day in Likutei Maran, where I think it's 119, where it talks about Shabbos, the opening verse in Masechet Shabbos, where Shabbos is compassionate, right? So if one requires compassion, God sends that person compassion, but we need to use that compassion, God's compassion that He's sending us, and expand it and give it to others, extend it to others, right? And then that's real compassion. That's being able to receive compassion. So receiving is really giving, or giving is receiving. So yeah, nice idea from Rav Nachman. And then last but not least, this is like a very, very important idea. We learned this Mishnah together. Did we learn this Mishnah together? No, we didn't learn this Mishnah together yet. But we saw this idea before. That's why I remember it. But it says here in the R scroll, because the last line it says, I prefer the words of Elazar ben Arach, for your words are including this. So Rabbi Elazar says, go and see what the evil path that a person should avoid. So what does this mean? Right. First, we see that go and see what the proper path that a person should follow. Then we see what is the evil path that a person should avoid. So what's this idea coming to teach us? So we see in Mishnah, Pirkei Avot, I believe, chapter 4, Mishnah 2, that one mitzvah leads to another, and that one sin leads to another. Hence, the consequence of a good deed is to get one on the track toward another good deed, because this is the good path. This is the good, proper path that we're trying to follow. Likewise, one transgression sets off a domino-like progression of sin. Therefore, one should consider carefully the nature of any proposed course of action, bearing in mind that it will trigger either a positive or negative chain reaction, says Rav Shmuel Alter. So, however, we should just be aware, right, as we're trying to follow the good path, we're trying to follow in the ways of the Tzaddikim, we're trying to follow the ways of the Torah, and we're trying to surround ourselves with good, creating good energy, good air around us, right? And we're trying to avoid that bad path. But we should just be more cognizant, more aware before we do an action, right? Because it's not just an action and then it ends with that result, right? That result is creating many other results, creating many other bubbles that is just not a consequence. It's not just as a result of that one action, right? It's creating many, many bubbles of sin. But Kitzer. All right, let's fire it up. Questions, comments, please feel free.
Which Simcha Raz's book were you talking about, Baal Shem Tov?
You have it?
Not yet.
Oh, not yet. I just got it. It's a beautiful book, mamish. It's just filled with luminaries. I just want to use that word, luminary. It's filled with a lot of light. Baruch Hashem. Okay. We covered the Haliga Shabbos. Ami, let's now that we receive this Torah, let's give this Torah out to the world. Let's extend this Torah out to the world. And mamash, we should be zocha to live it. And Samson's a little bit is also good. What page in the Simcha Raz book? I think 25. Samson. A little bit is also good. Do you have anything to share with us? Just any words, something, or just seeing your face is everything.
No words, just the niggin. This is the niggin from I believe it's Mujit.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Of course, Ami knows. How do we know the Mujits or niggin?
It's one of the Mujits. They have a lot of nigunim. One of them. They have many nigunim. They have the Baruch Kelly and everyone sings Mujits. There's a niggin they sing on Friday night by Otniel Mujits for Hallel. They very musical chevra for their Mujits. Baruch Hashem.
And Friday night, after the second half of Chadodi is Skolin.
Yeah.
Karlin?
Which one?
Lo Shavoshi.
Oh.
What do you say, Karlin?
No. Skolin.
My friends, I have to go. We should
right.
know the power of the niggin.
Amen. Great way to conclude. Chavra, be well. Fired up. Chava Shabbos.